What's up, mortgage coach community? I am super pumped to be sitting down with my bro, industry leader, the best weekly TV show in the mortgage industry, Ryan Hills, the man.
And fellow fisherman,
And fellow fisherman.
Yeah.
I'm bummed that we haven't I didn't get any bass fishing with you this year.
I know, man. You're too busy. You got to slow down. Come up to the PW.
I know. I got to get back up there. But as I said, Ryan has an incredible show, the RE Source. We will be putting a link down below. And I don't know anyone who's been doing it longer or doing it better. How many years has it been that you've been doing the RE Source?
Over 12, man. I'm an old dog.
Yeah, you are an old dog.
I'm an old dog.
Yeah. So guys, two things inspired the conversation that we're going to have right now. One, the halftime report that I created. I was reminded that it's not complete without having Ryan Hills as part of that. During the 2 or 3 week period that I did this halftime report and I interviewed 25 people, it was just like whoever I was talking to, I'm like, hey, want to do the halftime report? And so it wasn't like I left you out, bro. I was just running fast, running hard. And whoever was in my daily workflow that was willing to say yes, did it. But now that it's done, there's a lot of people. Like I think by the time I'm done with this project, it'll be another month or two, and then maybe another 20 interviews.
Because it's just amazing. What you put together is awesome. The amount of people that you've got to speak into that, they're all stars, man. They're absolute all stars in the industry, and I've watched quite a few of them. And I love the feature of 2-speed because I can just consume content a lot faster. So I watch a lot of them on 2-speed. But man, it is really, really well done. And I loved hearing Shant and Bill Dallas and Steve Jacobson and some of our local friends, Rosemarie and Tony. It's been really, really good, dude.
Yeah, no, I get asked, oh, what's my favorite? And I'm like, guys, I took a little something from all of them. Some of them might have had 3 things that I took from, but literally every single interview was valuable. We will put a link to the halftime report down below. And towards the bottom of it, I want to just make sure people know that not only is there a link to the recording of the video, which also has a special playlist in our group, 2022 halftime report playlist, and it's set up to rank them by the most viewed. So I have no influence over that. Just whichever one gets viewed the most is towards the top. But it's not like the ones towards the bottom aren't amazing and just as good. And then there's also a link to the transcript. So first of all, before I start hitting you with questions and doing a debrief on it and getting new ideas from you, for anyone that doesn't know you, like new loan officers, just tell everyone about your role in the industry today and a little bit about your backstory.
Yeah, man. Ryan Hills from the RE Source, been creating content for 12 years. It's been such a blessing. It's connected me with people like Savage and the entire list of, that was kind of cool going through. Like, yeah, I've got relationships with a lot of the people that Dave connected with on the halftime report because of this silly little show that we started 12 years ago that has now expanded nationwide. And I mean, even this year, things have been pivoting, exactly why you're doing the halftime report. And in years like this, we see our content explode and share. And it's one of the reasons why you reached out after the Practicing in Bad Weather show and the Mortgage Purge show. You're like, hey, man, let's get together. Also a regional at Movement Mortgage as well. Run an amazing group of people and leaders in the upper left area of the United States. There's 7 states up there. I'm proud to say number 1 region at Movement. I'm a competitor like most of us.
Little shout out to all you other Movement regional leaders. Ryan just took the king of the castle right there. Little flex. Little
flex. Hey, and I got a goal already, man. I think Steve Jacobson's ranked number 1 on the gigantic list of amazing people. And my goal is to surpass him. So no offense, Jake, but you set the bar high, but if you're not first, you're last. So I'm aiming for number 1 in the halftime report, guys. Movement fam, give me some love. All my friends in the industry, give me some love. Let's rank it up. Let's stack rank it up.
All right. Little call out. It's so fun. I love the mortgage industry for a lot of reasons, but the competitive nature of it, I just, we compete. We all want to be on the leaderboard.
Everything.
Yeah. And by the way, that was one of my biggest takeaways is let's start expanding the leaderboard beyond just production and loans closed. Let's start celebrating and recognizing conversion. Let's start recognizing and celebrating profitability. Which loan officers have the fewest price exceptions and are the most profitable, and which loan officers, and let's be transparent about it. Let's expand the leaderboard.
And
What
let's
what were
leverage
your
each other, man, because I'm getting ready. I'm already halfway through, but I've watched so many of them now. And these are technically competitors and peers of mine. But man, there's value. So I'm sending that out, getting ready to send that out to my entire region to go, hey, go watch these guys. Even Austin Nemec was amazing. You know, Sean's a GR competitor. No, like we're all in the same business. The pie is still amazingly big. Sue Woodard pointed that out in one of them. Third best year in the last 15 years, 2.6 trillion. Garth pointed out 82% purchase. Like, guys, it's big enough to go around. So I'm going to be leveraging my peers and the value that they added because of your call, Dave. And I'm going to send that out to my entire group.
I love that. And
with
you know,
bullet points.
my role in the industry, guy, is to be someone that brings people together. I mean, this is a recruiting free, you know, group, our Facebook group, our YouTube channel, but there are great loan officers. So Ryan, I organize this around data points. So like, what are the data points and trends? And then, and by the way, before I say it, you know, my co-author, Kristen Messerly,
amazing.
Like her and I both spent just a ridiculous amount of time. She is the VP of strategy with experience.com. She's amazing. Like I did more interviews. She did more of the organizing and writing, but guys, we each put over 20 hours of our time into this. And so we wanted to pull out data points. And I know, Ryan, you've read this. You know, we wanted to, we had call outs, you know, like untapped equity. But what were, you know, we call it trends, you know, like the digital shift era. What were there any data points we left out from your perspective? Or was there a data point that you think we should really be paying attention to the most?
No, I mean, it's so comprehensive. Again, kudos to you. I mean, everybody's really provided value and hit a lot of the same data points. It's July now. I think some of the first interviews were in February and March. But yeah, you know, we know the data points, and facts don't have feelings. Data's data, guys. Volumes down, rates are up. We're in a recession pretty much. Massive layoffs, inflation 9.1%, M&As historic. Garth Graham talked about that. Expansion and contraction. We've never expanded and contracted like we have in 2020 and 2022. Massive expansion, massive contraction in mortgage, also in the entire industry. And profits are down. That all leads to what? Doomsday. No, massive opportunity. And that's why I love like a consistent message from these leaders in the industry. No, guys, it's not doomsday. It's massive opportunity. Now, Dave, you're smart enough to go, okay, well, what is that opportunity? Let's talk about that too. But those are the data points. Facts don't have feelings. I'm excited. And if you throw out the outliers of 2020 and 2021, which are a global pandemic and shutdown spurred on 2020 and 2021, you throw those outliers out, and it's not the third best year, it's the best year in the last 15 years, right? Like we're never going to see those variables ever again, most likely, that spurred on the global shutdown. So really, guys, it's the best year in the last 15 years.
Yeah, no, you're right. But just, you know, take out that COVID glitch. So by the way, you said something that I think is going to become a quote where facts have no feelings. You know, one of my favorite, I loved Sean Bedosian when he said, you know, I don't follow the interest rate economy. You know, I follow, I think he said the action economy.
And I love that too.
It's all about action. So I think you just got a meme that's going to go wild. So let's, you know, I want to pull up the report one more time.
And I do have like, you're again, it's comprehensive and it's growing, and you're right. The bottom part of that, guys, is amazing because you can go in and watch and listen and read from everybody that's contributed. I would love to see one thing added if I could.
Bring it. That's why we're here.
And it's actually the shirt that I'm wearing, which is Comunidad. You know, I'm a part of the Comunidad initiative at Movement. And guys, I had to read this stat a few times. And this is a section I think is so pertinent to what you've built already, Dave. 70% of the new homeowners from 2020 to 2040 will be Hispanic. I had to read it several times. I'm like, there's no way that's true. 70% of the new homeowners. Talk about opportunity, Dave, and data points and skating where the puck is going. Wow, that's an amazing opportunity. 70% of the new homeowners will be Hispanic. It'll be the only ethnic group to see an increase in home ownership. And I'd love to share the report from you. It's an Urban Institute, but wow, that's an amazing opportunity for us to go in and better serve that community. So I'd love to see that section added there. It could just be an extra paragraph, but what an amazing opportunity.
So now in my new role as Chief Innovation Officer, I've got this innovation lab, and I'm going to do a call out innovation lab. Let's, make a note there. Let's make sure we represent that. I had dinner with Gene Luget, who's a EVP with Prime Lending a couple days ago. And he went on a whole rant. Like, I would say we had about a 2-hour dinner, and at least 15 to 20 minutes was just about that. And I'm going to be interviewing him in the next couple of weeks. And I can assure you that Gene and Prime Lending and a lot of other folks, they know that, they get it. It is a massive opportunity. Consider it added, Ryan. So thank you for that contribution.
Let's go.
King, contribution number one. So let me go back to the group, and I'm going to ask another question. So again, guys, we went through what are the shifts in the trends. You'll see, again, I have a little picture here. Recommend you watch this little 5-minute video. Talks about the history, but let's go to opportunities and strategies. This was my original CRM back in the day, many years ago. But we called out opportunity. Big data is a big opportunity. Automation is a big opportunity. We talked about sales boomerang and borrower intelligence. I do believe that by 2025, we're going to have these have-nots and haves. And Owen Lee, thank you. He's the one who started that conversation and quoted this. And Owen thinks it's going to be 30% are going to be the haves. So 30% of lenders are going to have automation. They're going to have borrower intelligence. They're going to be able to really take market share. And 70% are going to be the have-nots. Now, personally, I'm an optimist, and it's also my job to make that a bigger, I'm shooting for 50% are going to be, but I want to know, what do you think it's going to be in terms of the lenders and the loan officers by 2025 that are really embracing technology, media, and delivering this modern experience out there? What's your guess?
You're definitely going to see, in my opinion, a big discrepancy between the haves and have-nots. And it's the ones that have prepared. And if you watch Shant's video, talks a lot about how he's leveraging a CRM. I think he said he had 90,000 people in his database, a net promoter score. Like these are people that are going to set themselves apart. And it's really what I see the difference in terms of mindset today. The market contracted so quickly. There's two different mindsets. There's one of longing for yesteryear and my phone's not ringing, and just kind of a little bit of a pouting type mindset. And then there's one that is actually leaning in and talking about how we can steal market share every day. And I think you got 26 amazing speakers that have already kind of shared what are their thoughts and how can they do that. My big thing for opportunity, I know we don't have a ton of time today, Dave, is kind of what you reached out to me on, after the Practicing in Bad Weather show, which got shared across the industry, which was the Gary Player story I can tell real quick. And then the Mortgage Purge video, it really highlighted what I feel is the biggest opportunity. And you talked about it. You said, I'm an optimist. I've been so blessed to be able to coach with John Maxwell recently and mentor with him. And Maxwell's talked to presidents across the entire world, presidents of countries, CEOs, Chick-fil-A, the most successful people in the world. And he says, you know what, Ryan, the most successful people I've met share two things: a positive mindset and perseverance. They're all optimists, and yes, things have contracted. But again, guys, look at the data. Third best year. If we throw out the outliers, the best year in the last 15 years, positive mindset. And that's why I shared that Gary Player story. Gary Player used to pray for bad weather in the PGA. Why? Because he practiced in bad weather, and he knew if he woke up on tournament day and there was bad weather, he'd have a competitive edge over 90% of the competition. Why? Because he practiced in bad weather. He had a positive mindset, and he went into that tournament knowing I got a huge advantage. So don't underestimate a positive mindset. That starts there. You heard Dave, he's very successful talking about him being an optimist. And that's also go ahead.
Well, no, I don't. Before you go to another idea, I wanted to insert something to go finish that idea. I just thought you were positive.
Well, that's also why I shared the second story about perseverance. Dave, you've built many companies and had to persevere through many up and down markets, right? Like perseverance is a must. A positive mindset, perseverance. And Lost in the Woods was a really cool story that one of my leaders shared about literally just being lost in the woods and getting to the end of the day, and it was about to turn dark, and on one side it was sheer cliffs, on the other side it was kind of a swampy marshland, and he didn't feel like he could get out of the woods, and he was separated from his party and his friends, and he sat down next to a tree and he started kind of panicking and worrying about, I'm not prepared to stay overnight, what's going to happen to me? And that story rang so true for me. I was like, God, that's where most of the industry is right now. They're sitting down next to a tree going, oh no, what am I going to do? I did 50 million last year. I'm only doing 20 this year, 150, or even entire organizations are sitting down next to the tree because it contracted so quick going, what am I going to do? And Bill, who told me the story, his mindset was, you know what? It clicked in his head. You know where most lost hikers are found? Dead next to a tree. And he got up. I'm not going to be found dead next to a tree. And that's why I encourage the industry, get up, guys, get up, switch your mindset. You don't want to be found dead next to a tree. And it's not that bad. It's still the top, in my opinion, the number one year in the last 15 years when you throw out the outliers.
Yeah, no doubt. Mindset is everything. I don't know. We did call that out in a couple of ways, but I think we could expand on that. I actually followed Jocko Willink on a stage recently, a virtual stage. And, his whole presentation started off with, he said, like, hey, in the SEALs, when I was in the SEAL teams and it was bad weather out there, we called it operator weather.
Weather.
And it was kind of the same takeaway, but it's like, guys, this, really get that belief that like I was born for this, and knowing that, the majority of people are not going to be able to control their attention. There's going to be negativity, and keeping that positive voice and just going, hey, how do I turn this into an opportunity is a competitive advantage. So I love all those takeaways. Well, one thing I want to make sure, and anybody who's watching this, we've got a pretty good little audience on Facebook Live right now. If you've got a question for me or Ryan, put it in comments. Also, if you're watching this on our YouTube channel and you have a question or a favorite takeaway from the halftime report, let me know, because Kristen and I want to create a lot of micro content from that. And it would be good to know, like, what is our audience? What do you think was the biggest takeaway from that? But we're on this call, Ryan, and I've got you. And one of the parts was use video to connect at scale. And we have a really cool video, like in the mortgage coach community right now. There's a hell of a lot of content being created around 2-1 buy downs and seller paid buy downs. Anyone watching this, if you click on this, there's a way to actually watch this video, and you'll see one of America's top loan officers, most successful loan officers, in a mortgage coach report. She actually created this in a TCA. She did a video for realtors, educating them on buy downs. So one, I would love to know from you, what are your thoughts on creating content and on buy downs and how we can help realtors sell more homes in this market? And then I'd love to know, what are some other video ideas from Mr. Video?
Yeah, man, I'd love the 2-1 buy down. I love the shout out. Austin Nimick talked about leveraging video. Obviously, I'm the video guy, man, over 12 years in video. And I'm seeing, like you talked about, the people that are going to be the have and the have-nots. The haves are out there continuing to create content, leveraging TCAs and 2-1 buy downs, which are super relevant topics right now. People are attracted to winners and positivity. And the best way I know how to leverage that and get that out, you can do it one-on-one, one coffee at a time, or you can pour gas on the idea and have 10,000 people watch that positive message. That's why I leverage video. That's why I've done it. It's my all-in move for the last 12 years. It took me from being a loan officer by myself to having a $4.5 billion region. If you asked me the one thing I did, it was leveraging video. And it goes back to, what mindset are you going to have? Are you going to sit next to the tree? Or are you going to get up? Are you going to long for yesteryear? Or are you going to plan for unprecedented prosperity? Tell me how you're going to plan for unprecedented prosperity. And how are you, what message are you going to share with the industry, with your realtors who are also having those feelings? You think they want to sit down next to the tree, or hear how you're winning and leveraging TCAs and 2-to-1 buy downs and how you're winning in this market? Share how you're winning in this market. Guess what? That's a gravitational pull strategy. People start coming to you versus you going to them. Bill Hart and I had talked about that for years, gravitational pull strategy versus an external call to a realtor to try to get their business. Show them how you're winning, leveraging video. And I promise you, your phone will ring, because there's a lot of negative people out there. Having that positive mindset, showing how you're planning for unprecedented prosperity, is a huge opportunity right now. 2020 and 2021 was hungry, hungry hippo. We all played hungry, hungry hippo. We tried to grab as many loans as we could and shoved them in our mouth as much as we could. 2022 is not that, guys. It is a year of planting seeds and growing our business and stealing market share. And you may not see that right away. It may not be this year. It may be next year. That's okay. This is the season that we're in. Last 2 years was make as much money as you can and play hungry, hungry hippo. It is not that year this year.
So next thing I wanted to ask you as we get ready to wrap up, because I think I need to get a link to your purge video in here.
Yep.
And so innovation team, let's figure out how to integrate that, because I thought it was just an important reminder to folks. And you had some recommendations. So one, and if you have ideas on where and how I integrate that, let me know. Before I ask this last question, I just want everyone to see it. Like, guys, there's this resource section at the end, and it's got a link to read the transcript or watch it. And in our Facebook group, we have a playlist on it. I'll actually get a link to the playlist. And we referenced all the articles and all the data. Like, it's all here. So, after you read it, there's a lot of data. But I want to get some of the things that were either in that purge playbook that you created like 2 years ago. So,
Yep.
You literally were having a deja vu. So we'll get the video in there. But what were some of the things like, hey, in this market, you need to do blank, blank, and blank? Throw some, fastballs at the audience on what they
Absolutely.
need to be doing.
And that'd be an honor, man. The mortgage bankers just shared the practicing in bad weather and the purge video. So it'd be an honor if it made it on the halfway report. Thank you.
Yeah. By the way, guys, did you notice that little varsity move Ryan just said? I offered one video, and then he'd go, yeah, and we're going to do 2 videos. Yeah, that'd be great. So I just want you to know, no, seriously, leadership, he's a leader. And that's what the best leaders do. They lead. So yeah, we will put 2 videos in there, Ryan. I like that.
It's something close. Thanks for calling me
out.
out.
No, I well, hey, great. I don't want to say I'm a great sales guy, but sales guys, they're sales guys, and you close the deal.
We only got 4 minutes, man. I wish we had more. This is such a great conversation. I'm so glad you did it. But yeah, one of the biggest pivots also, guys, I'm trying to just highlight opportunities and action items. And it's one of the biggest mistakes. It's when I see LOs act like loan originator. Singularly. You're chasing a loan. Chase a loan, guys. Get a loan. And the opportunity now is to change your mindset to a positive mindset with perseverance and run a business like it's a business. Your business is a business, but we just get into this habit of chasing a loan singularly. And we have to have operator mindset, because we are in operator weather, coming full circle here. Guys, we have to become operators. We have to run a business. We're not chasing a next loan. We're running a business with multiple sales funnels, with fulfillment involved, with cost involved, with teammates involved. And that's why you see the J-Forces of the world and the mortgage nerds and DKs. They run businesses. They're not chasing a loan. And that's why they're the 1% and the 99. I'm speaking to the 99 now. Guys, change your mindset. You're not chasing a loan. You're not a loan originator, singular. You're running a business, and you have to step out of that business and look. And Todd Duncan and I just spent an hour together. It's going to come out Monday. How to build a purchase business in the next 90 days. We dig into the how. You have to step out of being a loan originator singularly and run a business like a business, because it is, guys. I encourage you to do that, to step out, and you'll be so happy that you did. Sean talked about, hey, 10 years ago, the top originators weren't the same that they are now. So what you do today might find you at the top in the next 10 years as a top originator, but it's only going to be if you run a business versus think about chasing a singular loan. Does that make sense, Dave?
It does. And guys, one of the, we had a section on recommendations, had a great quote from Steve Jacobs in here. And then, number one is be the captain of the wealth team. My mission is to turn loan officers into the most valuable advisors in America, more valuable than CPAs, financial planners, insurance agents, realtors, because we have more data. And it speaks to what Ryan just said, be a liability advisor. Make sure you're monitoring databases with borrower intelligence like Sales Boomerang. Lead with education. Dude, well, we couldn't be more aligned on that. So my last question, which I'm going to start asking everybody that I ask, but if there was one book that has had the most impact for you as a leader, as a winner in this market, that's prepared you for who you are in this market. Just, I don't want to hear three. You already turned one video into two. You get one book recommendation. What would be a book that's really been meaningful for you?
Man, I got so many.
You can pause for 50 seconds. Yeah.
I'll start with one that was probably relatively unknown. It's back in the day. Barry recommended it. Was called Start with No. And I don't know if too many people know about that book, but I was going to mention all the amazing books here and in my office, but everybody's already read that. But Start with No is actually really, really good. It's written by a top negotiator for like the CIA and the FBI. And it's really good. It's not even a sales book, but if you read it through a sales lens, you're going to pick up a ton. So Start with No. I'm going to throw a curveball.
Yeah, no, I like that. And just put an explanation on that. Every year I do the Modern Mortgage Summit and I pick great leaders. Most of them are all over $200 million a year in production. And then I just tell them, like, you pick the topic and the headline, whatever you're most passionate about. And every year, among the most successful people, they'll do it. They'll want to do a presentation on the power no and how no. Shayla Gifford did it. Cody Touche did a power and no. So there's been a lot of that. So in often cases, knowing how to say no, knowing how to strategically focus yourself. This is a market of focus. So Ryan, if anybody wants to follow you, I want to make sure they know how to, follow you on social media, connect with the RE Source. What are the best social media places to follow you?
Yeah, man. Facebook community is big, just like yours. So RE Source inside Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're on all the major socials. I'd be remiss not to do my frame message tie down with our mutual friend Renee. So my tie downs and to recap, because we're running up late against the stop here, is 70% of new homeowners Hispanic, guys. Opportunity, massive opportunity. Top 3 years in the past 15 years. I'm going to say it's really the top one when you throw out the outliers. Practicing in bad weather. If you haven't watched that video, go watch it. More importantly, understand it. Lost in the woods. Get up from the tree. Go watch that video. More importantly, get up from the tree. And how, I'd love to know, and I'm sure your leaders would too, how are you planning for unprecedented prosperity? And last, chase a loan, get a loan. We just talked about that. Don't be that guy.
So Mortgage Coach Innovation Team, I smell a little micro content right there. Like that might be a little cut edit. And well, dude, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate the RSOS video. I used to always prefer to watch it on YouTube, but I feel like I watch it on Facebook a lot more now. What is the percentage of, people watching it in different channels? Is Facebook the most viewed way of watching your show nowadays?
Yeah, it gets shared the most inside of Facebook. We all have areas of opportunity of growth. Me, for the RE Source, is I need to hire somebody that is specifically for distribution, because we don't try very hard on YouTube, and it's reflected there. And I really feel like, because we leverage great people like yourself, you've been on the show probably more than anybody else. We really need to do better in that YouTube space, and we don't even really have a strategy, Dave. I'm ashamed to say, but that's where we can get better at the RE Source.
You do pretty good. I mean, it is still the most widely distributed weekly show every week. This dude, with the help of RC and other editors, is bringing just pure fire and gold to mortgage and real estate. So make sure you follow it. You can actually get on the email list at their website. We'll put a link down below to that. We're going to get, it looks like 2 videos. I was going to say 1 video in the halftime report, but I got closed. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Ryan, you the man.
Love you, buddy.
Bro. All right. This is a wrap.